Karim Benzema scores the 1,000th European goal for Real Madrid. Oh, what a coincidence. Who would have thought this? As they beat Shakhtar 2-1. Jules, they're going to go through, but this is a bit closer than it should have been, yeah?
Very much so, Gab. Shakhtar hit the post at 0-0. Then they scored a really, really good goal to make it 1-1 after Benzema's opener, which came from a big mistake by Marlon and Vinicius and etc. And I think from watching the game, certainly it looked like the crowd was booing Real Madrid. I mean, their own fans.
And this was a strong Real Madrid 11, by the way.
This was
yeah.
And Benzema in the end, very good second goal with Vinicius and Casemiro, but yeah, far from convincing from
Carletto has some work to do.
Yeah,
we say it because we love.
Yeah. Tottenham have their new manager, and it's Antonio Conte. Gab, you wrote a whole column about this.
Yeah, well, Monday I said why this would make zero sense, and I think this is different Conte. The parallel I draw was Euro 2016 when after leaving Juve in 2013, I guess he left Juve. He decides to go and he takes the Italy. 2014, he takes the Italy job. Worst Italy squad in history. I mean, go back. This is the Giaccherini, Zaza, Eder, Pelé squad. And he decides to take it, and he works with what he has. He can't buy anybody, and he goes and he makes them better, and they do really, really well at the Euros.
Yeah.
I think he views it like this because if this was a project, if there were promises of massive investment or whatever, then he wouldn't have signed an 18-month deal. Then it would be a longer deal. It would be more guarantees. I think he wants to go in. I think he likes some of the players there. They will bring some guys in January. Yeah. But he says, first and foremost, I'm going to make these guys better. I'm going to turn Ndombele back into what he was. I'm going to turn Kane back into what he was. I'm going to turn Dyer back into what he was.
Not sure.
Ryan Sessegnon, the forgotten man.
Is he still there?
He's still there. He's injured. And I'm going to push for top 4 this season, maybe get some money, and then next season we push further, and then we see where we are, right?
Yeah,
and then
that's fine.
Maybe the money will turn up. Maybe Joe Louis will decide, hey, I'm in my 80s. I can't take all this money with me. Why don't I put some into the club?
He's the best guy they could have got. I think this is the best way of putting it. There was no one right now they could have gone and got as a club in the situation that they are now better than Conte.
I've been critical about him in the past because of the way he just walks out when people stop spending money, the way he views everything as a personal battle. But I have to tip my hat to him in this case because he's putting his reputation back on the line. He's putting himself back out there, and he could easily wait around for another big job where he knew he was going to get money. So kudos to you for that part. Definitely. Manchester City warm up nicely for the derby this weekend with a 4-1 win over Bruges. Jules, no De Bruyne, no problem.
Not really, Gab. I mean, Bruges came back with a freakish own goal by John Stones. Well, the nose of John Stones. Joao Cancelo in that game had 3 assists, which is already amazing. Out of the 4 goals, he's involved in pretty much everything. He created 8 big chances. I'm going to say this again. Joao Cancelo, as a right-footed left-back, so it's not even really the best position he can play, created 8 chances in a Champions League game, which I find amazing. What a player he is. And you're right, they warm up nicely. Bring on the derby, I guess. And Pep says this is the best Manchester City team, the way they play, that he's had since arriving at the club. So we have to believe him.
All right, quickly rank the top three at the position. Cancelo, Hakimi, Trent Alexander-Arnold.
It's too hard. By the way, Ashraf Hakimi, happy birthday, my friend. Porto draw 1-1 with Milan, which means only arithmetic is keeping Zlatan Ibrahimovic in the Champions League. They need a miracle to go through. Gab Pioli says they don't deserve to go through if they don't win games like this. They were so poor.
They started poorly, big mistake, leading to from what was a big mix-up with Benacer and Calabria, which led to the goals. They were chasing the whole game. Porto played well. Porto deserved to beat them first time round as well. They're still in it arithmetically, but it is pretty far-fetched that they go through. You know, if you're Pioli, you make the best of it, and you focus on Serie A and the fact that you're still growing. Ajax do it again, beating up an injury-riddled Borussia Dortmund 3-1. Jules, this is exceptional achievement for Ajax. Much love. Yeah. 3 little birds, all that stuff. But would it have been a different story without that weird Mats Hummels red card?
It was certainly very even before that red card, Gab, which, if you haven't seen it, Hummels goes for the tackle. Okay, there's studs first, but it doesn't touch Anthony. Anthony jumps, and then sort of lands on the leg of
Hummels doesn't
Hummels.
touch him, and he gets the ball too.
Yeah. And Anthony just then rolls around on the floor, and Michael Oliver gives the red card after watching it on VAR. I was very surprised. I think it's really harsh.
Did he watch it?
I thought he watched it. No, maybe he didn't even
didn't
go to
watch it.
He went to watch for the penalty that I think he gave as a compensation for Dortmund.
So I'm not going to blame Oliver here if you're going to look. He has a VAR. The VAR. Funny enough, this stuff always happens with English referees.
Sure,
is that nice
especially.
Stuart Atwell, who's like, oh, well, was that a clear and obvious error? Dude, just ask yourself, would Michael Oliver want to see this again? It takes 2 seconds.
I know.
I mean, honestly,
I know.
I don't want to be too exaggerated here, right? But these opinions, VAR is there for a reason. Take the extra seconds.
Yeah.
If Dortmund get eliminated,
I was
this
exactly
could end
gonna
up
say that.
this is going to cost Dortmund. It could cost them
Massive.
20, 30,
Yeah,
40
exactly.
million. What? Just because you can't be bothered to pull your finger out and let Michael Oliver take another look?
I know.
Come on,
I
man.
thought that was crazy. And
Why
then
are they
after
so
that,
bad?
The game changed. Even if Dortmund take the lead with that penalty, after that, Anthony and Haller, 7 goals, by the way, in 4 games, pretty incredible. Ajax first ever Dutch team to win the first 4 games in a group stage. Inter traveled to Transnistria and be Sheriff 3-1. Gab, big relief for Simone Inzaghi ahead of the Milan derby this weekend.
It is. You didn't want to have this headache. You said 6 points against Sheriff. Then we see where we are. They play well. Brozovic, the Braz.
the Braz.
How about that? You know, when he lights it up, when he gets those little like red dots in his eyes. No, he was. It was good to see, and they're definitely on a high heading into the big derby.
Alexis
this weekend.
Sanchez, first goal in Champions League since 2017,
With like his
man.
first touch as well.
What's incredible.
Massive come from behind win for Lille away to Sevilla, 2-1. Jules, this was impressive.
Well done, very well done. I mean, they were unbeaten since May. Sevilla at home, really good as we've been seeing in La Liga. Maybe not as strong as they were last season in terms of the game and fluidity and what they do with the ball, but what a win for Lille. Incredible, considering they hadn't won this season in the Champions League yet. They hadn't won since 2012 against Bate Borisov in the Champions League. Really well done to them, Jonathan David, Jonathan Ikone as well, with no Burak Yilmaz. Very good. And now they're second in the group, put themselves in a position to qualify. So
So they and Wolfsburg are both on 5 points,
Yeah.
and Salzburg is
7.
is on 7. So I think they're in a pretty solid position.
I think so. You know, they will host Salzburg without Ikone and André, which is a bit of a blow, but they can replace them. Cheka, Timothy Weah, all of that. They still have options. And then Wolfsburg to finish it off. So I hope for them they qualify. Not that they can go much further than the last 16, but certainly I think it would be good for their momentum and their confidence and everything. Another Robert Lewandowski hat-trick, Gab, and Bayern destroyed Benfica 5-2. His 4 wins are 4 for them too. They've scored already like 70 goals in 17 games. It's crazy. I bet you don't have any superlatives left for Big Robert.
So it's funny, they haven't actually won their Champions League group yet.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's something, their goal difference is like plus 17 or something like that.
Nil and 8-0.
Yeah, I think, we can pretty much. I think it's phenomenal. I have to say, like, I shout it to Leroy Sané too, because he was one of my favorite players when he came over. Had a great season at City. Been really up and down. I think there's been a lot of situations where he's actually been part of the problem for Bayern.
Yeah.
But I think it's coming together very, very nicely for him. And I don't think it's something you take for granted, because Bayern have a lot of competition in those wide areas. Sané's obviously responding to it, and he's responding to Nagelsmann, of course, who's back now, as well. So roll on Bayern.
And Lewandowski missed a pen as well, so he could have had a quadruple in that game. That was his 100th Champions League game.
Yeah.
He scored 81 goals now.
It is exciting. I'm going to go back on this because quick Ballon d'Or segment. As you know my thoughts on the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
I respect all the Ballon d'Or obsessives out there. The debate, I was watching this other side, the debate was like, oh, this is a big message to the Ballon d'Or voters. And I'm like, no, because the ballots are already in. And then they're like, oh, but this only reinforces their case that if they voted for Lewandowski, they should feel good about it. Yes, okay, it's that. But put you on the spot again. You cheekily avoided the right back question, but is he the best center forward in the world right now? I'm asking a guy wearing a Karim Benzema shirt. There you go. You go.
Exactly.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.